Jarrett Roser here today with Shield Taylor, standout tight end, and just as we were talking about a second ago, just really versatile weapon for that Alexandria senior high offense and number 15 recruit in the latest rivals rankings in the state of Louisiana for the 2021 class. Shield, appreciate your time, man. Thanks for joining me. How's everything been going?
It's been growing great. Thank you for having me. Just trying to make it through this whole coronavirus stuff and everything.
Yeah. What has this spring been like to finish up junior year amid all of that you just kind of referenced and just kind of a lot of uncertainty, a lot of strange times, but also have the recruiting start falling into place or at least really picking up steam the way it has with offers from all over the country, looking at Power 5 schools, Ivy League schools, coast to coast, and everything that has been as well.
Yeah. It's definitely been a mix of emotions, I guess. I was upset that they canceled school for the rest of the year, and I was upset that spring we weren't able to have spring. But I shouldn't be complaining for the way things have been for the past couple of months for me, at least. Just because I've been very fortunate with everything that's been that's come my way.
Sure. And some of those Stanford and Arizona out west, just today, Northwestern, or was it today or recently? I think Northwestern came into the picture. Duke, Cornell, Arkansas State, Memphis, a lot of the Louisiana schools, the Cajuns, ULM, Tulane, Army, South Alabama, and so as I mentioned, kind of all over the map. What has it been like to hear from so many schools? Have any of them really surprised you, where you have a moment that it kind of hit you that this was getting as big as it has, or anything like that?
Yeah, it definitely hit when Stanford called, because they were the first Power 5 that offered. So when they were called, I was really ecstatic, but I was surprised as well, and then the rest just kind of fell in line after that. And Virginia was the latest offer. So, I've had a great time speaking with all the coaches all over the country, been able to meet a lot of great people. But hopefully I'll get to visit them all soon as much as I can, if I'm able to.
Yeah, that part becomes interesting for a guy like you under the current circumstances. When you're looking at schools from all over the place, it becomes a little bit more complicated because we're still waiting to see when the visits open up. And obviously we're starting to get news of some activities both at the high school level and some college conferences hopefully getting back together here in early June. So I know everyone's really excited about that. Have you gotten any sense from any of the programs of any anticipation that you might be able to get some visits in later in the summer, or will it not be till the fall, or is that all just so uncertain that there's no indication really whatsoever at this point?
Yeah, I think it's all just so uncertain. The coaches can't guarantee that there will ever be a visiting time, or when that would be. So it's just kind of all up in the air right now.
I know some schools have tried to find ways to make almost like a virtual campus visit and really bring as much of campus to you guys through some Zoom calls and FaceTime and whatnot. What has that been like, I guess? What has been kind of the impression that some of these schools have been able to share with you even under the current limitations?
Yeah, a lot of schools will send out virtual visits and stuff like that, recruiting videos and stuff. But with the whole situation, it's really on my part to do as much research I can and find out as much information about each college to, be able to make a decision one day or farther down the line.
You're obviously, really smart guy, a strong student, and that's part of the equation if you expect potentially offers from the Stanfords and Cornells and Dukes and company to come in. What are some of the the aspects that you're looking at of both the programs and the universities as a whole as you try to kind of stack these up for an eventual decision? What are some factors that really kind of stand out for you?
Right. Three of the main things would be like, if the program can develop me athletically, like if I fit into their offense, and if their offense, fits me, especially with a need for the tight end position or the position that I would be playing. Another one would be whether or not the program can develop me academically, and the schools you're naming can definitely do that. The third thing would be the coaching staff. Like you want a coaching staff that you fit well with or mend well with. And you don't want a coaching staff that has the possibility of leaving anytime soon. You want a stable environment there. So those three are probably the three biggest things that I've been looking into.
Nice. On the academic side of things, do you have a specific major or career path outside of football that you already have in mind, that you're looking at specific programs at the universities?
Right. I'd like to, eventually play in the NFL one day. That's always been a dream. But academically, I think I'd draw a big interest into biomedical engineering and biomechanical and stuff like that. So I'll probably end up somewhere in that field down the line.
Yeah, that's really cool. For you, tight ends are not a position that in recruiting rankings you often see as high as being 15th in Louisiana. It's been such an interesting position with the way that offenses have developed, to see the way the tight end has developed within that, and you and what you've been able to do at Ash certainly show some of that with the way you can be used at different places on the field, different formations, and just kind of showing some different skill sets. I guess kind of talk a little bit about your game and that flexibility that you bring to your high school team as well as ultimately a college team, and how you seem to have enjoyed kind of that development of that position over time, and how you can really play such a versatile role for your offense.
Oh yeah. I get all the credit goes to, Coach Bachman and our new offensive coordinator, Coach Mack. He has a lot of things in plan for us in the near future. But he Coach Bachman just kind of saw early on that I have the potential to be a very very versatile player. And whether that means like spreading out and catching the ball in a mismatch, or being in line as a tight end, or being in the backfield. And a lot of colleges look for that in a player, versatility. And I think one thing I bring to the game is a lot of physicality. And that's another thing colleges definitely look for, because it shows passion. And, people want a guy that can, bury a guy and then spread out the next play and catch a ball, make a play. So it's been very fun playing the position that I play. For sure. I love it. But we're able to do a lot of great things and line up in a lot of different formations because of that.
And I told you I was going to ask you about the kind of the background of your name as well. Shield Taylor is such a great name that really, as soon as you see it, whether you're showing up to an Alexandria game or you're looking at the offers fall into place on Twitter or the rivals rankings or whatever, it seems like one that stands out and really kind of suits you as a great football name and great for kind of the way you play. What's the background on that name? Because it's not one that you see very often.
Yeah. My parents, they took a couple days or a couple weeks to, figure out a name, and somebody just brought up the name Shield, and my mom loved it, and my dad, he loved it because it reminded him of the shield of faith and the biblical reference. And so I ended up loving football, and it definitely has a perfect fit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
for you guys, as you are able to get together here pretty soon now, finally, for the Trojans and look toward your senior season, you had a great run last year. Finish up the regular season really strong, 9-1, and go into the playoffs and end up in that second round having a battle that you come up just short with, just short on the scoreboard, with a great senior class that's leaving Ash right now. What's the mindset for you and your class now, kind of moving forward, knowing Jacobian's gone, Jajarius is gone, and a lot of those other guys that have been such a big part of this team, and now you take on that much bigger of a role. What's kind of the outlook as you head into the off season?
There's definitely a big shoe to fill. But as you said, we had a great senior class, and I definitely think we could have gone a lot farther. But things happened, and we played a great team, and they won at the end of the day. But I think what's going to have to happen, if it's not already happening, is that a lot of people are going to have to step up this year and play some really big ball. And we're going to need some more leaders on the team to step up and just go compete.
Do you view yourself, when you guys are able to get back together, as a pretty vocal leader? Is that your style, or are you more of a kind of show by example and don't say a whole lot? How would you kind of describe your approach to some of that as you head into now being a senior?
I can definitely do both. I've been described as kind of a mild-mannered type of guy in the classroom and such. But when it comes to football, I love it. I got a passion for it. So, I flip a switch and the energy comes with it. So I'm usually, if you're not seeing my actions, then you might be able to hear me for sure.
You become a really highly touted player and prospect now in a run that Alexandria has had of some really good ones. The couple that we mentioned that are a year ahead of you, and LSU fans will certainly know DJ's name from a few years earlier, and Matt Beck, who ends up down here playing baseball, but was, a standout quarterback for the Trojans. What has that meant for you to kind of become another player on that level, both for your school and community, and knowing that you're going to be able to kind of carry on some of those things at the next level as well?
Yeah, it definitely shows that Ash is the place you want to be at. I didn't really expect this to happen in such speed and quantity, but I'm very grateful, and I hope I can do half as good a job as the ones that you've named before in order to be a good leader to the community as well as the school, and set a good example for the kids younger.
You mentioned growing up being a kid that dreamt of playing in the NFL one day, but you just mentioned kind of you didn't realize how quickly some of these things would happen. When did it really hit you that you were going to have some of these big opportunities and it started to feel real? You mentioned the Stanford offer was big for you. Was that the moment for you, or at what point did you realize you were going to have an opportunity to have some pretty good college choices and set yourselves up for things even beyond that?
Yeah. Early on in my high school career, I ended up having some trouble with my knees, so I had to have a lot of surgery. So, the whole scouting process kind of got pushed back. I played junior year, and I had a couple of sprained ankles at the beginning of the season, but I really started to get healthier in the second half. I always had it set in my mind that I wanted to play college ball, wherever that would be. If there's one college that offered, I'd go there and I'd do my best. So it'd be the best me. But they just kind of picked up, and I've been very grateful for it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Certainly, congratulations on the way that's gone for you. A lot of folks get really wrapped up into the number of offers and stuff like that, but ultimately, it only takes one good one, and you've got several good ones to choose from. So that's going to be probably an interesting, challenging, but very exciting process for you and your family to choose. But congrats again, man. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me, for sure.
Again, he's Shield Taylor. I'm Jarrett Roser for Louisiana versus all y'all. Thanks.